Coaches, players, and fans are calling this the biggest weekend in women's tackle football history. Arguably the top 4 teams in the nation are here in Las Vegas for the Best of the West Women's Football Championship. Tony Cardasco along with Melissa Ferris. And Melissa, over the course of this weekend, we're going to see 4 games. This will be a test of power. It'll be a test of strength, athleticism for these teams. But most of all, it's going to be about
Majestics. A lot of endurance, you guys. We're coming into Las Vegas. It's middle of monsoon season. We've got 108-degree temperatures, high humidity, the clouds and the rain that's been here all week. These leads are really going to have to perform. They're going to have endurance. They're going to have to be able to endure through 3 days, being able to win at least 2 games over the course of 3 days to get to the championship.
In the opening game, we're going to see the top seed, the Utah Falcons. They are the world champions. They're taking on the Seattle Majestics, and they already beat Seattle earlier this season. What can they do to turn things around?
I mean, really, it's about defense and holding on. These girls are here. They're all really hard workers. They've been doing this for such a long time and putting in the effort. So it's really about trying to get them to stop that ball.
Coming up, it'll be the Best of the West Women's Football Championship. Game 1, it's Utah against Seattle. Don't go away.
Number three. Christina. Tella. Second down.
There's a ball going out.
Christina. Hit the pitch off the right side. It is first down. Falcons.
Roll it.
Loss of 7 yards on the play. And midfield. Down and out. They're going to kick it away, but illegal substitution. Back on the clock. Try again. Jackie Nicole. On the kick, goes out of bounds. Right side.
Between games, set 30 minutes. So we're going to play the second game 30 minutes of the
First down. He's beaten at quarterback. It's up to 2-yard and a first down. Once again.
With the first down.
And so this will be second down, and they can still pick up a first down at around the 2. Here's Bean looking to throw, has a receiver, that is caught for the touchdown. Lexi Floor, the receiver, sure-handed, and it's 6-0 in favor of Utah. So just the 10th passing touchdown on the season for Utah. Chanel Johnston will come on out of Provo, Utah, to attempt the point after. And the snap was bobbled. The kick is on the way, and the kick is up, and the kick is good. 7-0 in favor of Utah. Louise Bean just with a nice pass play, and she had a wide open Lexi Floor for the second time in that series, and it's 7-0 in favor of the Utah Falcons. Calla approaches, and that ball is going to be muffed, and diving on it for Seattle was Jackie McCall, and they dodged the bullet there, did the Seattle Majestics, and so they'll have the ball with a 1st and 10, trailing 7-0 here in Las Vegas. We were a little bit surprised to see Tamara Crow starting today in place of Rachel Woods, which has been the starter. So Crow stays out there. One back set, 4 receivers. Utah's showing blitz, and they come with the blitz straight up the middle. But there's Kiki Williams. And Williams darts ahead across the 30. We'll call it to about the 34-yard line for a nice pickup of about 5 on the first down carry. Good blocking up front, and they picked up the blitz, did the Seattle Majestics. Williams led the team in rushing this past season. The Majestics so want to be like the Seahawks, don't they? There's Crow looking long, and she overthrows the intended receiver. Julia McCombs down at around the 44-yard line. There was triple coverage, good coverage defensively by the Utah Falcons. And they have what, an Under Armour deal now? They have a sponsorship by Under Armour. That's fantastic. Seattle's going to call the timeout. We see Julia McComas was a little bit shaken up there and being attended to. Is down on one knee. Now she is up. you have to stay hydrated, and you definitely have to make sure that you watch the players, try to avoid cramping, as much as possible. We're going to see a lot of that in today's game. So this will bring up a 3rd down and 4. And Seattle will try to keep the sticks moving here. 1 back formation. They're bunched up the middle. Some time for Crow. Slings it out. That's Kiki Williams. She'll break 1 tackle, and Williams will pick up the 1st down, and that's a big 1st down for the Seattle Majestics. This should be the final play of the 1st quarter. Somebody might have jumped there, but there's no flags down. And was that Johnson? She was met straight up the middle. Nothing doing there. And that'll be a loss. Let's say with progress, a loss of about 1 on the play. And the 1st quarter comes to an end. And your score is the Utah Falcons 7, the Seattle Majestics nothing. The way that you beat the Utah Falcons is you don't beat yourself, right? You can't afford to turn the ball over. And you have to almost play error-free football and just mix up your plays, too. Very aggressive. We saw the blitz by Utah on several occasions in this game, and I'm sure that's one of the adjustments that they're going to try to make, if not now, at the break at halftime, and hopefully Seattle's still in the game.
Well, it looks like we're gearing up for the 2nd quarter here.
It'll be a 2nd down, and we'll call it 12 yards to go. Tony Cardasco and Melissa Ferris here from Las Vegas. This is the Best of the West Women's Football Championship. So that'll be a 5-yard pickup on that carry. So now we're going to have a 3rd and 7 coming up for Seattle. To the near side, we see both Robinson and we see Williams. There's a trips formation, and we have a penalty marker, and this is going to be a delay of game. So a 5-yard penalty against the Seattle Majestics, and that's one of those mental errors you really can't make against Utah.
No, you really can't. You can't afford those kind of mistakes in this type of game.
It's a 3rd down and 13, 14.
Yeah.
So it's a long yardage play. And here goes Crow. Crow stepping up. Stroh just lobs it up.
Oh,
and a diving reception.
What a catch
and that
by
was
Kiki.
made by Williams on the far side. Did she pick up the 1st down?
It looks like it. Looks like a 1st down to
see
here.
where they spot this ball. I'm going to say it was short.
Bro.
So they have it. It says 1st down on the market. But it. So this looks like it's a 4th and 1. Well, now they set the marker
there.
and it's a 4th and long too. So the officials are going to try to sort this out.
The heat's affecting everybody today, Tony.
So yes, it is 4th down, and it was short. And Williams lost her footing, or could have been a huge play. But on 4th down, see what the Seattle Majestics have cooking here. And they're going to put it in the hands of Williams. She dodged one would-be tackler, and then she's gang tackled. And we see Seattle stopped. And good field position at the 45-yard line for the Utah Falcons. Why not punt the ball away there?
Yeah, I couldn't get past those ladies tonight.
So now Utah trying to add to its 7-0 lead.
And they've got the ball in great position right now, too.
Lexi Flores had a couple of big receptions in this game so far. She's number 26. The triple option. And there was some congestion up front. Then breaking it long. Here's Keisha Cox. Cox down to the 5 and into the end zone for the touchdown. Touchdown, Keisha Cox. That play has been working 95% of the time today. And that's one of the adjustments, really, that we're going to have to see Seattle make, because they're just gashing them with big plays on the trap play, everything up the middle on the dive.
Well, and Keisha Cox has led this team every year in rushing yards, so it's no surprise that she would make that kind of big play for this team.
There was some confusion in the backfield, and They disrupted themselves. Did you see? I think it was Ocala who came across the formation, and she ran into Bean as she was handing the ball off to Cox, but well executed nonetheless. And it's 13-0 in favor of Utah. Chanel Johnson is in for the extra point. No problems with this snap. Kick on the way. And that extra point is no good. Wide to the right. A little deja vu. It was 13-0 in the first game. Missed extra point.
Wow.
Man, Utah just keeps coming at you. And that big line up front and the job that they do effectively. I mean, you look at the center, Quinn Wesley, who's the captain, and then that left side of the line has just been executing at such a high pace. So we'll see Christina Bell Robinson. She's to the near side of the field. We also see Jackie McCall. They'll be back to accept the kickoff. High and end over end in the direction of McCall. McCall will field it at around the 12 to the 15, the 20, across the 30, and she is just driven down. And they'll call it a 16-yard return, so it'll be a first down for the Seattle Majestics.
And we'll try this one again.
It looked as though Seattle was starting to put together a good drive, and then they fell short on the Kiki Williams play, and they went for it on fourth down, which gave the Utah Falcons the short field, and then Utah just capitalized. So Tamara Crow is still in there at quarterback for the Seattle Majestics. The offset I formation, they got two receivers, and the handoff just went straight up the middle. And that's just back to the line of scrimmage after that short run. I think, was that Carol Lord again? I think that was Lord on the carry. Nonetheless, it'll be no gain, and it'll bring up a second down and 10.
You know, I'm surprised Seattle hasn't really taken advantage of using Adrienne Wilson yet. She's their wide receiver, number 9. She's led the team with touchdowns this season, and we haven't seen too much of it.
No, we've not seen anything, thus far out of Wilson.
And to be honest, she towers over these girls. The girl that's covering her right now has to be a good foot shorter.
They're going to run the sweep. It comes to the near side of the field.
Looks like Sarah Gallagher.
Ashley Young, and nice little gain, which will get out across the 35, let's call it the 37-yard line, and that'll bring up a third down and 5 situation. Checking out of the lineup is Carol Lord. So we haven't seen Ashley Johnson, and now she comes back in. We haven't seen much out of her.
Kiki Williams comes back in.
Kiki Williams. And even if it's on a sweep or if you can do an end around or whatever, you have to try to get the ball into Wilson's hands. So Wilson is sent to the near side of the field, covered by Myra Alcala, but they're going to run once again. They're going to run Williams, and she is wrapped up and driven backwards. And that was a nice tackle by Daniel Music.
Yeah.
Well, Music just wrapped up Kiki Williams. I heard them singing that Drake song earlier. Can't get it out of my head with Kiki.
Kiki, do you love me? Yeah.
So the punting unit comes on fourth down. Low snap. And that was picked up.
About a 20-yard kick
by
there.
McCall, and there'll be no return as it's set down at the 36-yard line.
Got about 5 minutes left here in the second quarter, live from Best of the West Women's Football Championship weekend. Utah Falcons are back with the ball.
They say that this is a first. It's a first in women's tackle football where this many powerhouse teams are together. And there goes the inside give. Keisha Cox. Here's Cox, and she gets run out of bounds at the 35-36 yard line. But another big gainer for the Utah Falcons. Well, everything just straight up the middle. There's no way you can get anywhere close to Quinn Wesley. And to be honest, that Seattle Majestic scheme is actually helping out Utah.
Right.
Because you just have, the 3 down linemen, and you have to make some changes there to play against the Falcons, particularly up the middle.
Well, and Keisha Cox is averaging 15 yards a carry, and it's easy to see why that.
On first down,
back to Keisha.
Once again, very patient. That's Cox. She breaks one tackle and another, and then finally she is pushed out of bounds at the 22 at a 15-yard pickup for Keisha Cox. That is her average. So Cox is getting into rhythm. The offensive line is getting into some rhythm. And the quarterback, Louise Bean. Wouldn't be surprised if they go back up top here. Got floor, man-to-man coverage on the near side. Nope, they take it up the middle, straight ahead dodge play. Tina Tella with the carry. And that'll be a gain of 4.
Realize how much what the refs are saying.
So Cal in motion. They're going to run it to the left. And now the cutback by Bean. And Bean is smothered. And a nice tackle just up the middle. Bryn Hammond was there. And we'll call that no gain. So it remains now 7 yards to pick up the third down for the Utah Falcons. They'll have to keep an eye on Keisha Cox.
Yeah, they just brought her back in the game, and I have a feeling maybe look into her again. Oh.
The handoff, and then just wrapped up.
Big tackle in the backfield.
And that's going to be no gain, and that was Ocala. So it brings up a 4th down, and no decisions. It looks as though Beans is going to stay out there. And the last couple of plays for Seattle, no gain, right? And the first 3 downs, just pick up the 3. So the defense has stiffened. Let's see if they could make the stop here. Here's Bean looking, lobs it out, and that pass was almost intercepted, and the intended receiver was Caitlin Rice. Bean underthrew her. And a near pickoff by Vanessa Caskey, the veteran. But Caskey might have taken that all the way north to Nellis Air Force Base. There's nothing but green turf ahead. 2:23 to go here in the first half, and it's still 13-0 in favor of Utah. Kiki Williams, she runs back out onto the field. So they'll have Williams out there. Julie McComas comes to the near side of the field. 2 running backs, they weren't set. And they easily could have called a penalty there as Carol Lord is straight ahead for no gain.
42 on the tackle. Jordan Willis.
Maggie McGrath on the stop.
Down and 8.
Maggie McGrath played rugby, and she's also, is this what you were telling me, a zookeeper?
Yeah, the Salt Lake City Zoo. She is an otter trainer. I think that would be an amazing job. I would not mind working with otters.
And then wrestle.
Wrestle defenders,
Wrestle.
I'm still waiting for Seattle to come out with some offensive passing. You still got Wilson out here. She is clearly, literally ahead above the rest of the defenders, hoping that someone can toss her a lob.
Going to take their time here. Under a minute to go. There's Crow. She just lobs it up, and that pass is luckily not intercepted in the secondary. It was a wobbly pass. It was intended for Jackie McCall. And it was broken up in the secondary by Daniel Music. And that ball just hung up there. And you really don't, in that situation, why would you stop the clock?
Yeah, it almost.
No timeouts remaining on either side. Call is also the punter.
See Reeve come back in for their Falcons, so she's playing both of her sides.
That's been deflected. I think that was blocked.
Someone taught it.
Takes a Seattle pass.
Go into Utah territory at the 47-yard line. So with 39.1 to go here in the first half of play, the one thing that Seattle did not want to do is give the football back to the potent offense of Utah.
Well, the key will be defense here. You got 39 seconds to make a stop, at least. 39.1 seconds. We definitely want to make a stop. You don't want to have the Falcons increase their lead. Keeping it under 2 is definitely.
Well, why would you go away from trying to run the football off of the triple option, up the middle, straight up the gut again? As Tella's in there. And now they're going to pass the ball. Bean.
Nice.
And that pass is picked off. That is intercepted. And they
Intercepted.
Oh,
no.
That was a nice play there.
Nice tie by Jackie McCall.
McCall came up with the interception, but they say that it hit the ground first. So another shot coming up here for the Utah Falcons with 34 seconds to go.
I'll be alive.
So Bean is under center. Steps back, throws, threw it behind the intended receiver, but it is caught. Lexi Floor gets down to the 31-yard line. Third reception on the afternoon for Lexi Floor.
Wide open, too.
The pump fake there bought a little bit of time for Bean. Floor cleared the zone and picks up a big first down. They'll mark it at the 33, and on the slant, that pass is caught and down to the 25-yard line. Andrea Chilton. And the Falcons will take a timeout with 12 seconds to go here. Their second timeout. And once again, we see Utah knocking at the door. A couple of big plays there in the passing game.
Yeah. 12.1 seconds. They're trying to figure out this last play. I'm sure they definitely want to get a score in. It'd be nice.
Could probably get 2 plays out of it, a fade pattern probably to the end zone. I mean, Lexi Floor has had the hot hand. 3 receptions here in the first half of play, including the touchdown. And they don't seem to have an answer for her, but they have a lot of really good targets out there. And just about everyone, as we mentioned earlier, can catch the ball. We try to get Keisha Cox out in space.
Yeah, I'm feeling like
very talented players on the far side. I'm sorry, Gallica and Cox.
Yeah.
Out there on the left side of the formation.
I was just going to say, I think Keisha Cox wants those with her 15 yards right about now. She's ready.
Ball spotted at the 25. 12 seconds to go.
So back to pass. There's Bean. Bean lobs it out there in space. Incomplete. Intended for Cox. She overthrows Cox, who was the intended receiver. And it was Christina Bell Robinson in coverage. And this will bring up a third down. Third down with 7 seconds to go in the first half. 13-0 to score. The Utah Falcons lead.
Falcons send the field goal team onto the field.
I'm going to try to play it safe here and try to boot a field goal. This would be a 41-yard attempt. Myra Alcala.
Number 8.
Call it 42. Snap is down. Kick is on the way. It looks as though it's going to be short.
Just a tad
And
short.
It's short.
Yep.
And there's 1 second to go in the first half. So the Falcons with a 13-0 lead. And you'd have to believe that Seattle has to feel good.
Feel all right
even though
about
they
it.
haven't been able to score. Some mental mistakes in the game, and gave up, some big plays, but they're still in the game. Just a 2-possession game.
Definitely still in the game. Hopefully halftime the coach can rev them up a little bit to come back and get downfield.
Welcome back from Las Vegas and Sunrise Mountain High School. This is the Best of the West Women's Football Championship. Tony Cardasco along with Melissa Ferris. And we're about to start the third quarter of play with the Seattle Majestics getting the football, trailing the Utah Falcons by a score of 13-0. And what do you think, Melissa, some of the adjustments were going to be at halftime for the Seattle Majestics?
Well, I think it's going to be very important for the Majestics to be able to try and stop and or cover Cox. You know, she's had clearly a great first half with the run game. If they're able to try and stop her, that would be helpful. I think also making some adjustments on offense, making some passes. You know, we still haven't seen much from Adrienne Wilson, number 9, and I'm hoping that they maybe put her back into the swing of things here.
So once again, Seattle will be receiving the football first here as we get set to start the second half of play from Las Vegas. The winner of this game plays 8 o'clock Saturday night in the championship game. The losing team will play in the consolation game at 6 p.m. this Saturday night. And there's a bunch formation, and it's an onside kick, and that's going to be recovered by Seattle. And it didn't go 10 yards. So it's a first down for Seattle as they not only covered the football, but the kick did not go the necessary 10 yards. And that's a big break to start the second half for Seattle. If you're Utah, you're up 13-0. Why not just kick the football deep? So here's Tamara Crow and company. And there's Ashley Johnson. And Johnson was not heard from in the first half of play.
No.
So let's see what they came up with offensively to try to get this thing started. Julia McComas to the near side of the field, lone receiver. Adrienne Wilson to the far side, Adrienne Wilson. And we've got a 2-back formation. We see Johnson to the backfield. And the handoff is going to go just straight up the middle on the dive play. And that's Ashley Young. Young with the carry, and that's going to be a pickup of about 2 yards. Check that. That was Kara Lord. Kara Lord on the carry.
We're still waiting for some passing offense here from the Majestics.
To add to this heat, and I mean, look at if you're Tamara Crow, you have to run all the way to the sideline to get the play, and then run back to the huddle. And it's cooled off a little bit. Well, at least there's a nice breeze now. Sun's going down. At least the sun's not in their eyes. Yeah. So this will be a second down, and let's call it 8 play coming up for the Seattle Majestics. And picking her way up the middle once again, that was Kara Lord. So they've been calling Lord's number a lot tonight. And she gets it down to the 45-yard line. They need the 38. So it'll be 3rd down and 7 coming up here for the Seattle Majestics. A quick score here, and we have a game.
Yeah. I see.
Be a good time to go to Wilson?
It would be a great time to go to. Well, you read my mind, Tony. You read my mind. I saw
You've been calling for her all night.
All night. I just want one good play, one good run. I can feel it.
Here goes Tamara Crow. Crow is going to look long near sideline. It is intended for Wilson and deflected and broken up in the secondary on a nice play defensively by Elisa Salazar. Well, good defense, and the pass a little bit underthrown by Crow.
Right. Well, they waited for the one time where they had a defender that was about the same size as Wilson. So Salazar at 5'8" was there right stride for stride with her. So it was a little tougher for her to get that one.
Trailing 13-0, it appears as though the Majestics are going to go for the 4th down. Kiki Williams in the backfield. They have 4 receivers. And there goes Crow throwing, and it is broken up in the secondary on a nice play in the secondary. And that was Memory Ware who breaks up the pass play. And there was a receiver downfield, and that could have been a big play on the break that the Majestics were looking for. But instead, they give up good field position once again.
Great defensive play by Ware there.
It looked as though that ball was going to squeeze through, and Memory Ware came out of nowhere and broke up the play.
No pun intended. And what's funny is that one of the notes they had mentioned here about Memory is that she doesn't allow players to catch the ball over the middle. What do you know? I think we just saw that firsthand, huh?
Here goes Bean, and just a quick little out there. And it is retrieved by Cox, and then she's run out of bounds after a gain of 3. So it'll bring up a 2nd down and 7. Keisha Cox out of Kansas City, Missouri. We mentioned that she played basketball at Dixie College up in Utah, which isn't very far. But as we were saying, a lot of the players from Utah drove down to Las Vegas. They carpooled. We saw cars with 4, 6, 10 people, not 10 people, but 4 people coming out of it. Once again, it's Cox. Cox on the carry, and Cox is bottled up after a short gainer, crosses midfield and down to the 49-yard line. And so this will bring up now a 3rd down and 4. Another big play coming up for the Seattle Majestics. The defensive coordinator is Jordan Profit.
Well, and I think that distance for Utah has helped them have some of the fan base that's here right now, too.
The keeper, and that's the quarterback, Louise Bean. And Bean pulled down after the 1st-yard carry and gets it down to the 40-yard line of the Seattle Majestics. They'll move the chains. I think there's more contact in the backfield of the Utah Falcons than there actually is, when they're running around out there with the defenders. Gallica, the receiver, to the near side. Here's Bean. Bean wants to pitch it, then just slides down. Well, she had a defender coming at her with a full head of steam there. It was Casey Tukatiao who was coming downhill, let's say. And that's the best thing you can do in that situation.
Well, we've got Lane coming back in now, so we'll see how this changes up the offense for the Falcons.
Well, where do you think she's going to go? Let me guess. Keisha Cox? Well, she was lobbying earlier. Jordan Willis is in the backfield. And there's the quarterback on the keeper, and that's Lane. And Lane with a nice gain on 1st down. She'll pick up 5, and it'll be a 2nd down and 5. Under 6 minutes to go. It'll be 3rd down. As Elizabeth Lane, the Auburn grad, gets the signals from the sideline. She has to throw the ball to Cox, or at least pitch it out to her. Cox comes in motion. No, he's going to hand it off to Cox. Here comes Cox to the near side. Cox pick up a 5, 10, bowls over a couple of defenders and gets down to the 20-yard line on a 15-yard gain. Well, that was just hard running by Keisha Cox.
Had a little stiff arm at the end there over at Adrian Wilson, who was defending.
How about that? Hello. If you had a late wake-up call in Vegas,
yeah, that's
you're
a good
awake
one.
now.
Yeah.
Trying
Sun's
to add
starting
to
to
the
crack
lead
back
here.
out, too.
The Falcons. There's Cox in motion. Misdirection. Handoff. It goes to Tella. Tella with a big gainer. She'll pick up another 1st down inside the red zone, and that's down inside the 10.
Another telegram straight coming through.
And no answer for that run up the middle. None. The second game should be good because it's the number 2 and number 3 seeds. And when I talked to players from each team, they both said the same thing. It's an even matchup. Lane on the late pitch out, and then just pushed out of bounds was Cox. That was a really late pitch out and a pickup of 2.
Pushed out by Hooks for the Majestic.
So it's 2nd down and goal to go.
I know that wind's got to be feeling a little good for the players out there, though, right now.
The ball has been fluttering a little bit, on the passes. Good point. There goes Rhino Williams back in the game, one of your favorites.
Yeah. Boy.
Rhino, you can see out there, number 76. So that 3-3 scheme with rover backs and what have you. Lane's going to keep it herself. Lane's going to turn the corner. Lane is wrapped up and dragged down. Nice stand corrected. It's a touchdown.
Touchdown.
She got into the end zone. Sorry, I just thought she was just short.
You know, clearly they haven't found a weapon on being able to stop her.
So the quarterback keeper for Elizabeth Lane, and that'll add to the lead. Lane working on her PhD at the University of Utah currently. And that was a very smart play. She's obviously much smarter than me because she found the end zone. I didn't.
I'm curious, though, coming from Alabama and then being an Auburn graduate, how that works for family-wise. You know, Alabama and Auburn, those are two pretty tough rivalries there.
Up 19-0, so now we see the Utah Falcons going for 2. And Lane's going to keep it herself right near the goal line.
Yep.
And she's in. So the 2-point conversion, and it is now 21-0 in favor of the Utah Falcons. Falcons have won, in case you joined us late, 42 out of their last 43 games, and they are the defending world champions in women's tackle football. A nice visit with one of the owners from the Texas Elite Spartans.
Yeah.
At halftime, that was fun.
In case anyone heard it.
They might have heard it. They might have been eavesdropping.
Yeah.
Ocala approaches the ball. It's a line drive that's headed for the sideline. It goes out of bounds.
Yeah.
Out of bounds. Penalty.
So the penalty marker comes in. And should be good field position. It will be for the Seattle Majestics. They'll spot the ball at the 30-yard line after it went out of bounds. So it'll be a 1st and 10 for the Seattle Majestics, trailing 21-0 here in Las Vegas.
Viva Las Vegas.
I thought you were going to sing the Kiki song again.
We're going to have Tony do the Kiki Are You With Me dance pretty soon.
Twin slots, the approach here. And the handoff. And that gap just closed really quickly. Carrying the ball once again, it was Kara Lord. So Lord's had about 6 carries in the game. And she has been the number 1 player for carrying the football. So I don't know what that approach is, but Johnson has been playing really well. Kiki Williams, you would think, would have the football. But it's a 5-yard gain. You can't complain about that. And a 2nd and 5 coming up. Has to really be a sense of urgency. And Crow flings it downfield.
Just a tad too far.
And that was intended for Christina Bell Robinson, who should have come up with the catch. And you see the sun, like the sun might have gotten in her eyes.
Yeah, the sun started
just where it's
cracking.
positioned right there.
Yeah.
On that side of the field. And he comes out of the sun field to the shade. That part of the field could have been difficult to pick up, but Robinson, that's her first target of the day, Tamara Crow. She threw a pretty nice ball there.
It looked good from, like you said, you can't really tell. We were not there in the sunlight, but it was a pretty nice throw.
So there's Williams in the backfield. Base pressure coming at Crow, and she throws it into coverage, and it is broken up and almost picked off. And in the secondary, that was Tasha Iono, who had the pass breakup, and the intended receiver downfield was Jackie McCall. That was a good play. So now you have to punt the football. You can't go for it down there at your own 35-yard line. And so McCall comes on to punt the football away. And back deep for the Utah Falcons, it's Tasha Iona. They might try to come after this. Is this another delay of game? Another penalty marker on a punt attempt, and again, illegal substitution. It's the second illegal substitution penalty against the Majestics. And this is the part of the field where you don't want to be backed up 5 more yards.
Yeah. directly in the sunlight now.
Iono standing back at the 40-yard line. Call, and that's a wobbly line drive that will take a Majestics bounce, go out of bounds at the 45-yard line, and the Utah Falcons will take over from there.
Yeah, looks like it went off her shoe a little funny there.
Off the side of her foot, yeah?
Yeah.
You get a feeling here they could be starting to roll.
Yeah. They're going to have
21-0, and we've got a little over 3 minutes to go here in the third quarter from Las Vegas. Once again, the winner of this game to play the winner of the Texas Elite Spartans and the San Diego Surge coming up in Game 2.
And that winner will go to the championship that is played on Saturday, the 8 p.m. game.
And the ball is lost as Bean went down, and they recovered the fumble. And that ball was just squirted loose, and it wasn't Bean who covered the ball. It was actually Linda Prescott who came up with the football. So bad snap, and that could have been a disaster. And Bean comes off the field.
Second down and 10.
Seems to be a little confusion on the play running right now.
Yeah, Bean maybe a little shaken up. Elizabeth Lane back on. Show blitz. And that's actually not Bean.
It's Gallagher,
that was
Gallica.
And Gallica actually down the far sideline, down to about the 22-yard line as Sarah Gallica on a little bit of a wildcat trick play. And that is a big play there for the Utah Falcons. There's a penalty marker down. No, it's not. Is there?
That was number 10, Sarah Gallica.
Yeah, there is a marker down.
It's going to go against the Falcons.
Oh.
A 39-yard run now by Sarah Gallica is negated by a penalty. And so they spot the ball back. It comes all the way back to the 44-yard line. So they go Wildcat. Gallica with a big run, but it's called off due to a penalty. And so the Falcons.
A little luck there for the Majestics to get that pulled back.
It's a big call there in this game. There's Gallica again. Some confusion on the handoff. Gallica racing towards the far sideline, and she'll pick up a first down. And Gallica getting out to about the 39-yard line.
And a first down.
They do call her the Swiss Army knife. She basically can play everywhere, anytime. She's a jack of all trades. We're seeing it here.
Like I said, I think the most contact on the field happens in the backfield of the Utah Falcons.
Yeah.
On those exchanges, because everyone's moving in every which direction. So it's a 1st and 10. Gallica stays in there. Gallica on the pitch off the option play. And there's going to be a short pickup of about a couple of yards on the far sideline. And it looked as though that was Chanel Johnston. I think that was Johnston with the carry. That was a real late pitch.
We may be able to count how many passes the Falcons have had on one hand tonight. I don't know. Hey, it's working for them.
Well, they have a passing touchdown, and that's big news.
Right. 21-0 still here in the third quarter. Falcons up.
It's Johnston who was in motion, and they move the pile forward, and they'll get out to about the 35-yard line. And up the middle that time it was Tasha Iono. So a lot of players are getting touches now. Iono looks as though she got shaken up on that play. As she comes off, she was holding her right arm. And so Keisha Cox will come back for the Utah Falcons. I like the pace of the offense for Utah. It's definitely hard to stop them once they start to roll.
Yep.
Gallica under center. Gallica will break one tackle, doesn't pitch it, and she is knocked down before she can pick up the first down. It's going to be close.
Just short. 4th down and inches.
We'll call it 4th and 1. And the offense, I believe, will stay out on the field.
That'll be the last play.
So they really picked up the speed and the tempo of the game, and that will be the final play here in the 3rd quarter. And we'll have a timeout on the field. And your score, the Utah Falcons 21, the Seattle Majestics nothing at the end of 3 quarters from here in Las Vegas at Sunrise Mountain High School.
Here comes the 4th quarter.
So Gallica stays in there at quarterback. They fake the handoff one way, and then they ram it up the middle and moving the pile for that first down. And much more is Linda Prescott. So Prescott picks up the first down and gets the ball down to the 20-yard line.
Yet another name running out on for the Falcons. I'm pretty sure every person on this team could probably run. For the
they can catch the ball. We talked about that.
Yeah.
Yes, they can run the football too. And what you're doing here as well is you're preserving some of your star players for Saturday night.
Most definitely. And
This game is definitely in hand. Gallica hands it off once again. It's Prescott. Prescott trying the left side, and that's a 5-yard gain. So they're just moving the pile forward, and no answer for that defense for Seattle. Jordan Prophet, the defensive coordinator, and they changed up that scheme. We talked about that. 3-3, and then Rovers and Bandit in there, and just different names, but a player down on the field. We're going to get a timeout here as the medical staff will come out. It's one of the offensive linemen, and it looks like that is Candace Jensen. So, and we talked about, due to the heat, stay hydrated, and you could get, those cramps, and
right.
It looks, that's what it looks like right there.
Yeah.
As though she cramped up.
She's up here singing the anthem with one of the other players too.
So I know it stays light later here in Vegas, but when do they turn the lights on here?
Guess not yet.
This might be Tella's call. The fullback directly behind Gallica.
Ooh.
And the late exchange, Gallica kept it herself. She would not give up the rock. And she's close to the first down marker on the far side of the field.
Great block by
and
Andrea
Children.
Children.
Probably a few inches. And this time she hands it off to Tella. But she is met, and she'll drive forward and pick up. I think she'll get the first down. Looks as though she's really close to that first down marker. But there was some good contact up front in the trenches. Was that Rhino Williams there? I think so. Yeah. Big Rhino Williams was there in the middle. And she met Tella. But Tella is so strong, powerful. Low base, low to the ground. Picks up the first down. So 1st and goal to go. Utah in command, leading 21-0 here in the 4th quarter from Las Vegas. Receiver to each side of the formation. And here comes Gallica. Gallica on the keeper. Nobody to pitch it to. Runs into some traffic and gets bounced around and into the end zone for the touchdown. Sarah Gallica from 9 yards out, and she'll get the touchdown, the 4th of the night for the Utah Falcons. So Utah is on a roll.
They're going to keep going, pounding it in.
With 7:09 to go here in the 4th quarter, 27-0, the extra point pending.
The Majestic may need a miracle for this one. That's
It's like, where's the rest of the Majestic team?
Yeah.
Like, there's not very many players.
Being from Seattle myself, it is quite the ride to get your players and/or their fans down here.
We're going to get a timeout. There are so many players on all these teams that have been All-Americans, you know? You look everywhere.
All-Americans or nominated to the Semi-Pro Hall of Fame. There's a numerous amount of those that are here for the Falcons too. Crowd's getting a little rowdy now. The Falcons fans are, I think, starting to feel this one as a win.
So we heard a big roar from the crowd as Hannah Siomanu went out on the field. A fan favorite, no doubt. So they're going to go for 2. Yeah, they're not going to try to kick the extra point. The Falcons. And we will keep an eye on number 49 there, as you see.
There she
and the handoff
goes.
goes to Hannah. And will she lunge forward? She does for the 2-point conversion. The fan favorite, Hannah Siomanu. 5'6" from Riverton, Utah in her second season. And that was a lot of fun.
That was amazing.
But it's 29-0 now.
She's another one that was nominated for the Semi-Pro Hall of Fame organization. And has a daughter. I don't know if this is, well, I've seen a couple little fan jerseys back here. What better way to come and enjoy a game though than watch your mom?
Mom out there? So Hannah comes over to the sideline and gets a lot of hugs and
cheers.
Cheers, yeah.
Yeah.
There was no doubt where that ball was going. None.
Yeah. The timeout was for her.
Exactly.
Call the timeout, put her in. As she still gets the high fives and congratulations throughout the sideline here.
If you're Seattle, do you see that as rubbing it in?
I mean, at this point, you know, you guys are here to show what you're made of, and why not keep pushing? You know, let's show the world right now what makes women's tackle football great.
And so that was
oh, here we go.
Picked up by McCall, and
Jackie
McCall gets
McCall.
out across midfield.
Hey,
Just
if you're going
one
to
more
start.
step, and she almost broke one at the end of the first half.
It's a great start. Maybe they'll bring a pass or two, huh? Let's see what these Majestics can do. Pressure is on.
There goes Crow, back to pass, lobs it up and deep, and the pass was caught. I think that's Mackenzie. No, that was actually
Kayla Hall? Kayla Hall.
That was Kyla Hall. It was Kyla Hall who made the reception out there. And Hall gets it down inside the 20-yard line, or 25-yard line. And they'll call it a pickup of 16. So that was Kyla Hall who snuck out and comes up with a reception. The ball was just lobbed out there by Tamara Crow, and Kyla Hall went up and caught it. So Crow on second down, and that handoff goes straight up the middle, banging away for first down. That was Kiki Williams for a 5-yard pickup on first down, I should say.
Well, no time like the present to keep that ball in the air, and let's keep throwing some.
I've seen a lot of players that I didn't think we'd see, like Ashley Young, you know, comes back in now, and not much, as we mentioned during the course of the broadcast, from Ashley Johnson. The handoff goes to Young. Young on the sweep. Young gets a block. Young gets the corner, and finally is driven out of bounds at around the 12-yard line. So a nice run by Ashley Young.
Majestics are moving.
Little stutter step there in the end.
Yeah, pretty nice.
Yeah, got her an extra couple yards maybe. Well, they're putting the pressure on. You know, they're giving it one last-ditch effort here. Seattle Majestics down 21-0. 5 minutes and 30 seconds left to go in the game.
I thought I saw Rachel Woods. And yes, that is Woods who comes out to quarterback. Oh, no, that's not Woods. That's Crow.
At the 14-yard line.
There's Crow, throws it, and it is deflected and incomplete. And downfield, we saw Mackenzie Tolliver asking for a penalty flag, but there's
She had
no
Ashley
contact.
McCrae pretty much down there open in the end zone, too. A little disappointed for that one.
Crow throws it kind of sidearm when she slings it out.
Yeah, I've noticed that.
That was Rachel Woods who was on the field, though. So Woods came out as a receiver. So maybe they wanted to try something like a double pass, or I'm not quite sure what.
Trick play.
Little trick play, yeah. Comas to the far side. Bell Robinson near side. They have a slot on each side of the field. And that pass again, and that is overthrown. It is incomplete. Intended for Christina Bell Robinson.
You know what's surprising is they haven't really targeted too many of their taller wide receivers here today. We haven't seen any catches, I don't think, yet for Wilson.
29-0. If you're the Falcons defense, you're going to try to secure the shutout. So they're playing now for a lot of pride defensively. It's 3rd down and 10.
The Majestics really need to make this one happen. You got 3rd and 10, and we've got to really throw for the ball here.
And the handoff goes to Williams. Williams reversing her field, cut back, and a penalty marker comes in late. I think that's going to be an illegal block or a hold against Seattle. A couple of players were tangled up out there as Williams was doing some work. And that penalty will go against the Seattle Majestics. So it is a holding call.
Accept the penalty.
And they mark it off.
10 yards. Repeat 3rd down.
Looking at a 3rd down and 20.
Whew. So close. They were so close. You know?
Again, just shooting themselves in the foot.
Yeah.
The Majestics.
It's a 3rd down and 19.
It's Crow out of the shotgun. Crow stepping up. Crow has a receiver out there, and that pass is caught for the touchdown.
Nice,
And
Kyla
the
Hall.
touchdown was scored for the Majestics by Kyla Hall. So Hall with the touchdown was wide open. She just broke out into space. And a nice
Finally,
throw
we're
by
getting some
Crow.
good throws in there.
Yeah,
Great
good
throw.
throw by Crow.
Put some Majestics on the board.
So the first points on the night for the Seattle Majestics. 29-6. Extra point pending. Jackie McCall is on. Nice snap. Placement's good, and the kick is a line drive that's through the uprights. So 29-7, your score, with 4.5 to go in the game.
Seattle Majestics on the board with 7.
So the sun is gone. Clouds have somehow rolled in a little bit, and out near Nellis Air Force Base, we're catching a few lightning strikes.
They're going to keep an eye on that because they'll have to delay play if they see those getting any closer, and I'm sure the officials are aware of that right now. Probably an onside kick, and you see 2 lines there with the hands team. So you'd have to believe here that Jackie McCall will go for the onside kick. Why not at this stage of the game?
Why not?
4.5 to go. Trailing 29-7. No, just going to kick it away. And finally picking it up was Iono. Iono gets 1 block. She goes with the high step maneuver. And then she's finally polished off down
Falcons will take over way back.
near the 10-yard line.
13-yard line.
Seattle's head coach is Scott McCarron. I think I started to call him yesterday Scott McCarron Airport. He made so many runs to the airport yesterday.
And the fact that our airport is the McCarran Airport, probably.
So we have a pitch outside, and
This to the outside. 8 yards. Second down.
trying to see who that was.
Just think if the Majestics
Oh, that was
had.
Cox on the run.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, anytime there's a sweep or something on the edge, you have to just figure it's Keisha Cox, even though it was on the far side of the field.
Ooh.
Under 4 minutes to go now in the game. Gallica with a bad pitch. The ball was loose and it's covered. It's covered by the Falcons. That was almost a disaster. So the pitch was back to Cox. Sometimes, you know, Sarah Gallica just hangs on to the ball too long.
To the original line.
It's like she wants to really just take it herself still.
Yeah, we saw her trying to play keep away with Tina Teller.
Yeah.
You can't win that battle, although she did.
Yeah. Yeah.
Gallica that goes to Tella, and she is hog-tied, like right there at the line of scrimmage, and knocked down. And that was a big tackle, you know, up the middle, and that looked like Casey Tukoa. Yes. Did you say the name?
I did.
Thank you.
Tukuto.
That's why I just kind of backed off.
Fourth down. And 9.
Now, if the Seattle Majestics had those kind of plays all game, you know, that kind of defense right there is what could have helped them so much.
Tella to punt.
Oh.
And
Low kick.
that was almost blocked at the line of scrimmage. Let's see what
Jackie
McCall can do
McCall,
with the
yeah.
football. There's McCall. And McCall.
She did have that one.
She broke one tackle in the open field, brought down to the 40. And she had a couple of big plays in this game.
40.
She's got a little speed on her, that's for sure.
Down by 22. We have the Majestics taking over the football. It's cooled off substantially here in Las Vegas, 2 degrees.
2 degrees means a
There's
lot.
Crow. Crow looking to throw long. Crow has a receiver, and it is dropped by Adrienne Wilson.
Oh.
Dropped by Wilson down at the 22-yard line.
That's
So that was the opportunity for Wilson to grab her first reception of the night.
I would have been a happy camper with that one. I've been pushing that all game. You know, second drop ball for Wilson today too. So
The clock is stopped with 2:23 to go in the game. I wouldn't be surprised if they try to go back up top to Wilson. Why not?
third tries a charm.
Instead, it's a handoff. And once again, as a hard tackle as Carol Lord was headed for the hole. And she'll just pick up one tough yard as she was just roped and brought down. What do you think about them playing in a third-place game, I should say?
Well, you know, at least they get the day off. It sounds Friday.
When you come
they'll
here to
have-
play 2 games, you want to play, right?
Of course, for sure. Yeah, you know, I mean, plus it's still like their best. This is the best of the West tournament. They want to be able to showcase their skills. Maybe today was an off night. You know, most of them traveled in today, so hopefully Saturday can be better for them.
Crow, swing pass, Kiki Williams. Williams at the 30,
There we go.
at the 20, and just runs into a defender and is brought down and taken out of bounds inside the 20-yard line.
Moves the chains. Seattle's knocking on the door once again.
Gave a nice little hit to Elisa Salazar there, number 81 on the Falcons.
15-yard line.
Just
Not
a minute
done
20
yet.
to go. Yeah, a minute 20. Trailing by 22.
It's always nice to put some extra points on the board if you can.
Well, also, this could give a team like Seattle some more confidence going into the third place game. You don't want to go home in last place.
No.
So they're trying to get some benefit out of this.
Back
Another
to
sweet
Kiki.
pass. It goes out to Williams, and Williams this time is brought down quickly, but after a 5-yard gain. So the pickup with 50 seconds to go. We're going to get a timeout on the field taken by Seattle.
Battling out here in hot Las Vegas.
It's a good thing they can't hear you because you keep reminding them how hot
I
it is.
know. I can't get over it.
I know. A lot of locals are asking, so they're going to play football in the heat.
Right.
Here goes Tamara Crow. Lob pass towards the end zone, and it is caught.
Hey!
It's Adrian Wilson. Wilson with the touchdown.
All right,
On a
Adrian
high
Wilson.
arcing pass by Tamara Crow. Adrian Wilson with her first reception of the night and
First
a touchdown.
reception. Just a few quarters late for my
For your,
my liking,
you're
but you know.
You're fangirling out right now.
Yeah. I just feel like that was a play that was there for most of the game. But they've got it to roll into Saturday with, so.
Well, the score will look good as Jackie McCall.
Getting into double digits is always good, you know.
And
Ooh.
McCall, a line drive that goes through the uprights. Well, that was a bullet kick by McCall. It's a 29-14 game.
It looked like Earl might have got a
45
little
seconds to
hand
go,
on it,
but
too.
that drive was well put together. And you had Wilson getting into the act.
Yes. I'm sure she liked that, getting the ball.
Get the late touch, get the late touchdown, and, another game to play here in Vegas, and you won't feel so bad.
Right.
So here's McCall. And there's the onside kick. Deflects off of one player, and then it is caught. And that was caught. Elisa Salazar. Salazar on the hands team with a nice play off of a deflection. And so a couple of knees here, the victory formation, and the Utah Falcons will move into the championship game. That game's Saturday night, 8 o'clock, and we'll have it for you.
Live out here at Sunrise Mountain High School, literally on the edge of the mountains. Can't tell what that noise is, can you? The bleachers?
Someone is pulling a cooler.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I think they need new wheels on that cooler. So Sarah Calica takes a knee.
And winding the clock down.
So we'll need, and that'll be it. Now we won't need to snap the ball again. So 29-14 is your final score as the Utah Falcons advance with a victory over the Seattle Majestics. They'll play the winner of our next game, 8 o'clock on Saturday night. They'll take on either the Texas Elite Spartans or the San Diego Surge. And Melissa, your thoughts of this victory and the Utah Falcons?
I mean, I think it really comes down to, just their run game first and foremost. They have an amazing run game. It seemed like everybody on the team basically can make it happen. And being able to have, a 50-man roster that you can swap your players in and out with. I mean, we saw firsthand here, I think it was the third, if not the beginning of the fourth, where, you had like some of the third-string running backs in there. And so you're giving your ladies a break for Saturday. Your starters are getting a great break. So they're a great team. They got a lot of depth.
It was a good mixture of running the football, some well-timed passes. Lexi Floor had some big key receptions, particularly in the first half. Keisha Cox is almost unstoppable out of that triple option offense. They do so many things well, but you also have to give a lot of credit to the defense, which might have worn down a little bit later on in this game. but the attrition that we talked about due to the heat, due to the humidity. But you also have to talk about some of the good things that the Falcons did defensively. I mean, they really did an excellent job in shutting down Adrienne Wilson to the very, very end of the game. And so you have to give them credit for that. A lot of deflected passes, almost had 2-3 interceptions that were dropped, but they played really well, and I think they're going to have to regroup and just do some things better to close out the next game.
Yeah, we really didn't see much from Ashley Johnson either, and so it's clear that the Falcons defense held her. They had a game plan, it looks like, and that was to stop the rushing yard leader for the Majestics. So cheers to the Falcons. They played a great game. We'll see them again on Saturday in the championship game here. You could tell why they're number 1 in the world. They just continue to play at just an elite level. You're tuned in to the Best of the West Women's Football Championship. So joining us now, we've got Louise Bean, the quarterback on the winning team in our first game and making their way to the championship final here, the Utah Falcons. Louise, first of all, I wanted to ask you about Elizabeth Lane. She gets hurt. Was the plan for you to play as much tonight?
I really don't know the plan, actually. We have a platoon system, and it's just her and I have been taking a lot of the reps recently, and we both got dinged up. And so she took a magic shot in her ribs, and so that numbed it, and I just fell on my shoulder. So Sarah Gallica came in, and she hasn't actually been taking very many quarterback reps recently, and she just did a fantastic job. So it's a team win, team game. So.
Melissa and I said with the triple option that we felt that there was perhaps more contact in your backfield than there was actually from the defenders. How do you control everything that's going on with the triple option?
Well, we've been doing it a long time, and it does take a lot of practice and a lot of discipline, and we love it. We feel like it gives us an upper hand, and it gives us an advantage. And so they actually defended it pretty well tonight. They had a safety that they weren't even looking at the quarterback, and they had their linebackers a little bit out wide, so they were playing assignment football as best they could, kind of forcing the quarterbacks to run, which is okay with us. It's triple option for a reason. So. Their DN, Kase, was giving us a little bit of fits. She's a great player. And actually, when she fell on me, she's like, "You okay, Bean?" Because we know each other. So these our two teams are...
Compared to Kase, you look like a bean.
Yeah. So, she's a big girl. So, it just takes all of us. You can really see that's a big deal.
Well, and it seems like most of your team is very versed in being able to run the ball. And we know Keisha Cox, she had an amazing game. What else do you think was a key for all your runners in the run game for you guys?
Well, the O-line, for sure. Our O-line, like I said, we got great coaches, and they've been trained on scheme. I was talking to this nice guy back there, and he says, I forget that it's girls playing football. So that's what we hope it looks like. But like I said, we got great coaches. We have a lot of athletes that have played, 4, 5, 6. This is my 8th or 9th year, I can't remember. Offensive line definitely, but we've got we got a stable of great backs. So that in triple option, you got to have great running backs and a great fullback. So
I noticed that in pregame warmups, everyone can catch the football on your team. Everyone can really just go after the ball and secure the football. So that's just something that maybe you guys can do more effectively when you do have to throw the ball. You know that you have so many weapons.
Yeah, we were just kind of waiting for them. Once you're doing triple a lot, they start to inch up on the edges, and so you saw some of the throws. And I missed a touchdown just right there before half. She was open. So, you're just trying to play with them. And if they're going to follow motion, you do certain things. If they don't follow motion, you do certain things. They start to inch up. They start to creep up on the corners, and so then you just go for it. So the play calling is also huge for us, and the ability, our head coach and our offensive coordinators, to be able to see those things. And we go no huddle, so you can see it goes pretty fast. Since you guys, he said it was his first female football game, so is this the one for you guys?
Yes, first female football game.
So how did
and we were impressed. No, we were very impressed. And just the fact that, you guys execute at such a high level with that triple option. I know how hard it is. Like in college football, I see Air Force running it, every year when they come here and they play UNLV here in town. But I know what it takes to execute that offensively, and there's so many moving pieces and moving parts. But tell us about how you are so successful with the trap plays, and the runs up the middle. How is that? It's a can't miss play.
Well, thanks for the compliment. Like I said, we've been running it for a while. Our head coach is from the academy, and so he's a believer. He doesn't like Navy, and he doesn't like Army. They run versions of it, so it's all Air Force. So we pride ourselves in that. It really is a big deal, and most women's teams don't run it. So because we're not very big size-wise, I mean, that Seattle team was pretty big, and some players were really big, Kase being one of them. So it gives us an advantage, and it becomes more of a mental game for us. And so, like I said, it's play calling, it's quickness, we're pretty fast. And our girls on the line aren't that very big, but they know how their scheme works, so thanks.
Well, and just off the technical football aspect, since this is one of our first times being able to see live women's tackle football.
Is this your first time?
It is when they have full clothes on yet.
Okay.
So I think you know where I'm going with that one.
Totally.
So it's nice seeing that. So with that being said, what is it that you want to be able to show off to? I know there's some young girls. I know most of you guys are mothers. What does this show to the kids out there? Because I know for me, I didn't have a women's tackle football to look up to think, hey, this could be something I could do when I get older. What is it that you guys are trying to hopefully show some of the fans out here?
Well, I play football because I love football, and I love the camaraderie, and I was a college athlete. So a lot of our girls play because they like the sport, but it's new to many of them, and so they like the camaraderie. I'm just trying to show that I want to be good at this, and we have been good at this. We haven't lost in 5 years, and so I just like it when you guys say, hey, it looks good. So that gives me a lot of pride, and if it inspires other people, that's awesome. But I play for the love of the game, and I also think it's really important that we as a team and in our community set good examples that, any dream can come true. And for me, playing football was a dream come true. So I'm just really grateful for the opportunity.
All right, Texas or San Diego, who do you want? Do you want to play the rematch against San Diego?
So we don't care. We really don't care.
That's the PC answer.
Okay, so I'll be honest. We played San Diego, and San Diego's been on my bucket list for 6 or 7 years, and we won. So I do think our girls and our coaches want Dallas, and they're a good team. And you have your hurdles that you want. So a few years ago, I wanted Seattle, and I beat Seattle. We beat Seattle a few years ago. It becomes a personal vendetta. So I don't know how to explain that part. So Seattle, we took care of. Then I really wanted San Diego. And then we took care of San Diego. So then you think, well, what's next on your list? Well, we want some of Dallas. But our coach just said, it doesn't matter who we play. And I do think our team takes a lot of pride in we're going down kicking, we're going down screaming, we're going down fighting. So we're a really tight team, and we have excellent leadership. So
does depth really pay off here in this heat? Because, we look at your sideline, right? And then we look across the field at Seattle, and they have like 1/3 of the players that you have. So they're having to play, both ways. San Diego's banged up coming in. We don't know how long they're going to last because they have a lot of players playing 2 ways tonight. So do you think the depth and this heat and this humidity will really pay off, will pay dividends?
We hope so. We've prepared for it, and I think that's also a mental empowerment. We've been conditioning for 6 weeks. Hard conditioning, harder than we've ever done as a team, and we pride ourselves in conditioning. And in Utah, it's pretty hot. It's been 100 degrees. So we take that as hey, we're gonna own that. And so we don't hide from those things, and we don't shy away from those things. So depth's a big deal. We do have a lot of players. We pride ourselves in our roster size. So it's a big deal, yeah.
Well, congratulations, Luis, on the big win tonight, and we wish you the best of luck in the championship game. We'll see you Saturday night.
All right.
Maybe you'll join us on the post-game show.
You guys are going to be here?
Yeah, you could be back on the post-game show.
All right, we'll see. We'll try and put a good show on.